Hello, greetings to everyone. It's me, Thales. This is my channel about English language. And we have today another video from Human Resources as part of the series of General Management, okay? So, let's get going. Well, today we will continue talking about the human function, human resource function. We were talking previously about staffing, right? One of the subsystems, various subsystems from human resources. And we know that many functions of HRM, what is HRM? It's human resources management, okay? We are talking here about the whole human resources concepts. And many functions are also tasks other department managers perform. Remember, a few videos, we talked some about how managers engage in various activities, not only staffing, which is related to recruitment and selection, but also in training and development, performance evaluation, retention, career paths, right? Management, career management, policies, right? Writing policies about various themes. So HRM is not only one specific thing. It's not all, we could say that it's not related to the human resources department only. Remember, we talked about the HR function, how the evolution came, and how different human resources is right now. Human resources is more strategic, it has a broad strategy, and is more related to the company as a whole, not just the HR function. It has various links to other functions, other management functions. So, sentence here, we saw that there are many functions in HRM, right? Such as staffing, such as training development, such as performance management, career management, workforce planning. So it has many different faces. And these human resource management functions, there are also tasks other departments perform. You're a logistics manager or an operational manager. It's important to a manager to understand how the team performs, right? To understand how to give and receive feedback, how to evaluate performance, how to manage their careers, not only as a team, but also as individuals. And in some situations, depending on the size of the company, the manager is also responsible for the whole recruitment and selection process, right? This manager also hires, selects curriculum, and interviews people and decides which ones are to be hired or not. We know that this has some strong interface with HR, and big companies, even though they have a department dedicated to human resources and the various functions, it's also relevant that the manager, the functional manager at the operational line, this person needs to interview, needs to analyze if the person is suitable for the position or not. Management, HR management, is responsible for staffing. It's a staff function. What does it mean? It doesn't take the decision for the functional managers, right? Function managers, they are responsible for people management. And these attributes, it's impossible to let them go. The management as a whole cannot say that, human resources will do this for me, will evaluate, will give feedback. No, the functional manager is responsible for giving feedback. So that's the reason that other departments perform many functions of HRM, right? It's more like people management. It's part of the functions of the reason a manager exists. Managers manage not only processes, but also people. So you understand what I mean, right? Okay, when we talk about staffing is one of many different functions of HRM, and in staffing, you need people to perform tasks, right? To have responsibilities, to make sure that business will be operational, will run smoothly, and also to make sure that everything goes accordingly in the strategic plan of the company. So staffing is one of the functions responsible for defining the size of the company, right? It's more like human resources planning, workforce planning, but not only human resource planning. In human resource planning, strategic human resource planning, a manager must decide the position, how many positions he or she needs in order to run their business, because managers are responsible for a department, and a department has a reason to exist. It has its own attributes, responsibilities, and in light of that, he has to decide how many people he has to size his team in order to define how many people will be necessary to run the activities. Not only the size in order to define the number. Number is important, but also the job position has a more qualitative approach. So you have to decide the formation, right? Which formation is necessary, the complexity of this job position, the desired behavior, right? Personality. If this person needs to have affinity with people, or if it's a more technical position. So what is desirable for this person to have? A certification, a specialized formation, a post-graduation, a master's degree in information technology, right? So a data scientist. There are many different ways to define the job position, and HR alone is unable to define that. HR, for example, you work as an employee, a human resource analyst, who helps the line managers define how many people they need and what kind of professional they need. Do you think you would be able to say what kind of professional is necessary? Perhaps you could help if you know enough about the business, if you understand, if you have a close relationship with the core business or the area which is your client, for example, you may be able to help. But regardless, it's impossible, or it's not HR attribute anyway, to say, to tell the line manager the desired profile of a job position. Human resources helps, gives consultancy on that matter, helps with methodology, helps with guidance, helps with providing benchmarks, data, historical information, everything. So these inputs will make the decision making easier for the manager, for the line manager. So as I said before, every manager needs people to perform tasks and to get the work done, right? To get the work done, as I said, in performing tasks, every job position has tasks which need to be conducted, and every job position has a reason to exist. So it has work to be done and an objective, goals to be achieved by the department, by the manager. When we talk about staffing, we are not being specific. It's the entire hiring process. From the moment you post a job position, private companies in the market, they hire consultancy companies, in selection to attract candidates from the market, to get information, resumes from these candidates. I said curriculum before, but it's inappropriate. The best word is resume. Get resumes from the candidates, and perform, for example, exams, tests, knowledge tests, specific knowledge tests. For example, if you're an engineer and for this job position, it's required of him or her to know English, maybe the selection process has interviews in English or an English test, or make the person bring some certificate such as TOEFL, TOEIC, and stuff like that. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a behavioral interview. You know, nowadays, formation, of course, formation is important. It's a requisite. It's a requirement for that position. If you want a mechanical engineer, of course, you won't hire a doctor instead, or an accountability professional. No, you won't do that. Engineering requires formation in engineering. Or maybe you require post-graduation in something. In IT, it's very common to require people to have certain IT certifications. The market offers different specialized certifications. It may be required. So this step, it screens the candidates, and it's like it's a screen, right? It filters who will be in the next step of the selection process. It tends to be automatic, right? Or computer-based tests. They are less expensive. In the past, it was very common. I remember when I finished graduation in 2003, and at the beginning of 2004, I applied for some trainee programs. And these trainee programs, they weren't through the internet. You had to go there, an event in a huge place, big hotel, hundreds of people taking written tests or examination. Nowadays, people don't do that. It's very expensive. The managing and the organization of such event, right? It requires you to hire a place in a sophisticated hotel. It requires you to print paper, right? The logistics is complicated. So nowadays people do differently. Most selection processes that I see through the internet, they are done remotely. People have interviews, not necessarily face-to-face, at least in the first stages of selection. Maybe in the end, when you reach the end of the process and there are just a few candidates for the position, okay, you can ask them to come in person to participate, to have an interview with the managers, with the president, the board of directors. It's very common these nowadays, right? Why am I talking about this? Because staffing has huge advantages through technology. When you talk about public contests, or public evaluation tests, as we have here in Brazil for public companies, it's not possible to take them remotely. It's in person, you go there, you take a knowledge test, and then you are classified according to your score in the test, and then you are called, right? You are, after this process, after you realize that you succeeded in that test, they call you to perform exams, but you are already approved, right? You have the approval. Only if you have a problem in person, if you have something wrong, very wrong in your medical tests, you wouldn't be able to proceed, but it's extremely unlikely. Anyway, staffing is the entire hiring process. You say you can say here that we aren't talking about workforce planning. Workforce planning is not through this concept part of staffing, but you know, staffing involves defining the size. Before posting a job position, you need to know that you have a job position. And having a job position requires the manager, and HR helps the manager achieving that in this position. To tell the market what is necessary for this job position. It's not enough, for example, just say, okay, I need a person graduated in business. Is it enough? No. I need to tell in this job position what is expected from this professional, what are the requirements, what the requirements are for the packages, benefits, the income, the salary and benefit package, the place the work will take place. If that job position is a remote position, working from home, whether it's flexi time, whether it's entirely in the office, 100% in the office, how many hours per week this person will need to work. If I have to work from Monday to Friday, if I have to work from Monday to Saturday, everything is important. In general, companies, they don't say the salary. They say, okay, I have, salary is negotiable. You need to say, tell the company, mostly in the resume at the beginning of the process, how much you expect to get. I don't like this practice, but maybe they do that because they have a range of salary they are willing to pay. For example, a job position is from 5,000 to 10,000. If this person says he's willing to take 3,000, maybe the company can do two different things. One, to accept and say that, okay, you want 3,000, but we will give you 4,000. And this person is happy because he's being offered more, but as a matter of fact, the range of negotiation the company is willing to have is from 5,000. So the company wins, right? He will pay less than the range, the minimum range he was willing to pay. That's why I don't like that. I like more transparent job positions. Some companies, they say how much they are willing to pay the professional. Anyway, in general, the private market works that way. You post a job position, mostly LinkedIn, websites in general, newspaper. Yeah, it was common to have job positions offered in newspaper, but nowadays most people get information from the internet, and they have to negotiate a salary package with the company. So it's not a simple process, okay? Okay. So, as I said, a staffing plan is also related to the workforce planning. You see, how many people they should hire based on revenue expectations. I believe I said in last video I mentioned that when a company says, I expect my revenues to double next year or to go up 20%, in order to reach that target, I need more people. With the team, with the people I already have, it's impossible to reach that goal. Even if I overload the team with work, it's impossible. Maybe I will need new competencies, a new formation, a new specialization, right? Which I don't have currently in the company. So it's required to bring new blood into the company, new formation. Anyway, it depends on the objective, right? Whether you're expanding your workforce, whether you are growing as a company. So, okay, I need to say how many people I should hire. And it's difficult. As I say, let's say human resources. The company expects to double its size. And you say, should HR double its size as well? Should human resources get more professionals in order to face the challenges the organization has? I don't know. You need to analyze the process. You need to analyze the benchmarks available. You saying that the company will double its size not necessarily means that the support function will double its size as well. Probably there are some areas which won't have any impact at all with the doubling of the company. The size of the company, when I say it's supposed to double, probably is related to the core functions. So you need to analyze the core functions first, right? The main areas of the company, and say from there what kind of professionals, how many people should support these functions. So it will vary from function to function. Financial department, there is no saying how many people will be necessary. I can't say that HR will double its size, but I can't say that about the law department either. I can't say that about logistics department. I can't say that about financial department. It will depend on the nature of the company. You have to analyze the structure of the company, the processes, the value chain of the company, and to see in depth if this department impacts more or less the core functions of the company. So it's very complex. There is no saying that it's not a direct comparison saying you're going to double a company size and you have to double the support function. Most companies, they have downsizing processes, and they have this concern about the support function because they are very costly. And the cost of the support function is a concerning issue because it's not related to the core business, but they are necessary. The thing is, how many, what's the ideal size of that support function? That's a huge question mark that many companies have. And also, you see that it's very complex. This is related to strategic workforce planning. And this part is related to culture. Development of policies to encourage multiculturalism. For example, have more black people, have more women, have more gays in the company, have minorities, right, in general, working for the company. The more diverse your teams are, the better, right? The reputation of the company is affected by the social responsibility of that company. And in turn, it's related also to the to have stimulation for or have policies related to minorities. Right? Many companies have this, not only because it's a good thing for the company, but also because there are many reports in the market, such as Dow Jones, that encourages and shows the market the importance of being socially responsible. And in turn, that makes easier for the company to have relations with different countries, have access to different lines of borrowing money. It's not only, how can I say, it's not only because the company is good. Oh, I'm a good company, I will do good to everyone. No. It's part of the role of the company. The reason the company exists is to do some good, right? It must impact the stakeholders and society. If it doesn't have a purpose, a company shouldn't even exist, right? So in order to become strategic, a company must keep this in mind, okay? Okay, so we talked about the staffing, which is more related to the selection process as a whole, right? From the moment you post a job to the moment you negotiate a salary package. And we also have here the recruitment, which means I have to find people to fill the open positions. Find people to fill the positions, it means to be hired to occupy that position, to sit on the chair of that position. It's like a bunch of chairs in which you have a chair with, it has a stick on it saying what the requirements are, what the attributes are, and then I select a person who is suitable for occupying, for sitting on that chair. That's it. Finding people to fill the open positions, it involves a communication strategy, a robust attraction strategy, to show the market, to show people why they should work for this company and not the competition, right? From this, we will keep as it is. Next video, we will talk more. I will just mark here that we have already talked about. Enjoyed today's video. And in the next few videos, we will continue seeing more functions from HR. Don't forget that this channel is about English. So it has content related to English grammar, English vocabulary, business English, such as in this video, right? General management, content, exercises. It has a completely free English grammar course from basic to advanced. Basic content has explanations in Portuguese, right? And intermediate advanced ones, they are English only. You just see the title of the video, right? The highlight of the video. It says, if it has any word in Portuguese in it, it means that it's basic or intermediate level. And I will explain that during the videos. We have almost 800 videos available, so make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell to get the latest updates, and give a huge thumbs up to enjoy, to sponsor this channel, okay? Everything in my channel is entirely free, and I record videos weekly. See you next time. Bye-bye.